What's up, guys? It's been a while since I've done a video outside of Bitcoin, but the setup on Fartcoin is so obvious, and I think this is such easy money that it would be wrong of me to not make a video to at least bring you guys' attention to this coin because, well, TLDR, price is going to come to here, and I'm going to give you the exact setup within this video. Now, before I get into it, just going to shout out my accuracy so far. With Bitcoin's win in yesterday's video, it brings our total up to 43 out of 55 in terms of my publicly called analyses. So if you're new here, just understand that you are in the right place because over the last couple of months, since I started tracking this in February, we have been on a roll, and I will continue to do my best to make the correct call and give you guys the best information. But without any further ado, let's dive into this video. So first of all, just to understand where we are at in terms of the daily chart, because we always want to start off on the higher timeframes before we go into lower ones, just to prevent confusion and just to prevent getting lost in the noise and to ensure that we are actually trading in terms of the higher timeframe direction instead of opposite it. That's probably the biggest mistake that people, or rather beginner traders, tend to make. They look at every, quote unquote market structure break towards the downside and think like, oh yeah, let's short that. But in reality, they get tricked because they fail to understand what is the higher time frame flow. And so far, this higher time frame flow is very bullish. And right now we are reaching for a liquidity point that is very clear at the moment, which is right here at 1.3. And the reason why I think we're going to go to this level and we're not just going to, dump from here on outwards is because currently we have a high here as well as a high here. This makes this relatively equal highs, and relatively equal highs are a magnet for liquidity. Essentially, this is a level that the market eventually reaches for. Now that we understand what is the daily trend as well as what is the daily target, another thing that I want to bring your attention to is how clean the order flow has been. So if you just take a look at this move right here, you can see how much these bullish order blocks as well as liquidity sweeps have been respected. First of all, price has recently just finished a retracement move into this fair value gap right here and is starting to show signs that it wants to go up now. And previously, you have this bullish order block that can act as potential support, although price doesn't quite retrace back into the bullish order block. And something else that is interesting is that after you get this liquidity sweep right here, you form new highs. And that's something we try to look for to confirm that we are indeed in bullish order flow. So coming back to price at the moment, yesterday's candle closed pretty bullish, and so today our daily bias is going to be heading towards the upside. Now that we have done our higher time frame analysis, it's time to hop onto the lower time frames. And in terms of the lower time frames, we are also getting pretty clean bullish order flow in the sense that this is a bullish order block which price retraced to. And if we draw a fib from low to high, we can also see that this lines up with the 0.705. Price doesn't quite trade very much below the 0.705. And so everything is lining up towards the fact that we are about to flip bullish again. Now, this is not a sign to just, set a limit here and set a stop loss here, set a target here and forget about it. Now, you can do that, but the way that we trade is that we look for confirmations. And right now, as of the time that I'm recording this, it is 3 a.m. London, and we are potentially about to get a change in state of delivery. And a change in state of delivery essentially means that price is going from bearish order flow into bullish order flow, just to give you an idea about what I mean. And right now we have 40 minutes left to go in this candle. So no confirmation yet, but within the next 40 minutes, we will be able to get a confirmation. And all you want to look for is price to close above this level right here, which is 1.125. And once you get that happening, you want to look for a retracement. And in this case, we have a clear fair value gap right here in terms of the 1 hourly chart. Now, again, this could change within the next hour, but I'm basically, sharing kind of like unfiltered thoughts here as of the moment that it's happening so that you guys are getting the information flow as quickly as possible. And essentially the setup is going to be, if you get a close above, then you retrace into the fair value gap, probably your entry here, stop here, and your target's going to be at least at that high, but most likely at 1.3, which roughly gives you a entry, or rather a risk to reward of, we set the target at the high there. It's going to give you a risk to reward of about 4.5 to 1, which means for every $1,000 that you risk on this trade, you're going to make $4,500 back, which in my books is always a great setup and it's always a great trade to take. Now, one of the reasons why I am more confident on this trade is because, again, the daily time frame is pointing towards the upside. We have had bullish order flow basically since, when did we get a change in state of delivery? Right here on this candle on 19th of March. Basically, we have for the most part been in bullish order flow. For example, right here, that's a bullish order block. Price breaks above, comes back down, respects it, price breaks up again, and boom, that is another bullish order block, which price is again respecting. So if you just want to put an entry here, place your stop loss here, and just target this, yeah, sure, your risk to reward might take a hit, but this is overall a multi-time frame aligned kind of trade here. And just going into the 5-minute chart, you can also see that we have swept the Asia low, right before the London opens. If you can take a look here at 1 a.m., you sweep the Asia lows. So this basically becomes manipulation. For those of you who understand how AMD works, you have Asia that usually acts as accumulation. London tends to manipulate one side of the Asia low or high. And then if you also pair this with your understanding of the higher time frame bias, in this case, daily bias, as well as anything higher, then that is going to be manipulation with clear room for New York to distribute towards the upside for the rest of the day. And by the way, if you're interested in learning exactly how I do this for absolutely free, we're going to host a masterclass in 11 days teaching you the 6 skills that you need to go full-time into trading and to get funded. For those of you who have joined my masterclasses in the past before, you know that this is just 2 hours straight of value. That's not going to be any fluff, no BS. It's just 2 hours of value. Again, basically, it's going to be a really good use of your time. If you're interested, click the first link in the description box below. But otherwise, if you enjoy these analyses done on crypto from the smart money trading perspective, then make sure you subscribe. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.